Don't forget to call us on the numbers flashing on your screen. You can also write to us on WhatsApp, but we urge you to call us on the numbers flashing on your screen so you can ask away your queries live and our experts can answer them. On that note, we have Narendra Solanki joining us on the fundamentals, and our technical guest for this evening is Sundar Kewar from Ashika Stockbroking. Sorry, it took me time to identify that, but welcome to the show, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining and giving us your time today. Let's take up our first WhatsApp query. Rakesh from Vijayawada has written to us. He basically holds 1,000 shares of Sunteck Realty at 381 rupees a piece, and he's asking for a short-term view. Now, Sundar, how do you see Sunteck Realty's stock performing in the past couple of months, and would you recommend Rakesh to hold on to them for the next 3 to 6 months?
So Malika, if I look at a daily time frame, the stock is into a consolidation range. But one positive point about the stock is that the stock has closed above its 50-day moving average, which is considered to be as a mid-term moving average. So I would recommend him to hold the stock. But yes, I would definitely recommend him to place a stop loss at 380. And if the viewer wants a target, then the target should be placed at 480, where the next resistance is placed. And also, if I see today's action, so the stock has faced some selling pressure, but if the stock breaks above 420, then this could ignite the move. So if the viewer wants to add, then he can add above 420 as well.
Okay, that makes sense. And Narendra, I'd like to get your view on Sunteck Realty, and if you could also give us your fundamental expertise on the sector itself, because the sector has been in focus and in fact has been one of the top laggards in the recent past. What do you think is adding pressure or sort of pinching the space?
Yeah, good evening. See, as far as the stock is concerned, currently it's not under our coverage, so we do not have any active recommendation on the stock. However, if you see the real estate stocks of the performance has been mixed. If you see the metro area operating stock, we have been seeing a lot of supply coming up, and the demand side, the inflation was higher, so the demand was also subdued, especially in the key metro cities. So both these factors have been affecting the sector overall. However, there are few players who are very well diversified across various major cities. So those kind of plays are where the opportunities lie. So I think it would be stock specific should be the strategy for the sector rather than going all in for sector.
Okay, got it. Now we have another WhatsApp query. BK Rao has written to us from Vijayawada, and he's asking your suggestion on Gland Pharma. So I'd like to take this to you, Narendra. How do you see the space? How does the sector look to you? And also because, many pharmaceutical counters have not been doing well because of their exposure to US and the implications that they could have on their business because of tariff fears looming around. Do you think Gland Pharma is going to be insulated from these uncertain global environment?
Definitely, the pharma stocks have not been performing even before the tariff war started, and the tariff war has added further headwinds to the sector. If you see the overall, what we have seen is that there is a slowness in the demand, and the pricing pressure is higher in the developed markets, and that has been giving pressure. Plus, the tariffs also has added a key uncertainties regarding the profitability in the overall sector. So right now, among the pharma healthcare space, we are more positively inclined towards hospitals, wherein you can look for opportunities in the hospital segments, and there are a lot of new capacity additions or new bed additions happening in the hospital segment. So that is what we like. And as far as Gland Pharma is concerned, I think from a performance basis, the stock, it seems like the stock is bottoming out, and we might see some performance coming up in the stock, but I think it's not coming in immediately, and I think one has to wait for 2 or 3 more quarters in order to see the performance.
Okay, understood. And now we have Ramachandra Reddy calling us from Andhra Pradesh. Hi, Ramachandra Reddy.
Hi, madam.
Hello. What's your question today about?
Regarding Ola Electricals.
Okay.
I have purchased 2,000 shares for the rate of 51 rupees.
Okay.
Can I add more?
Okay, and when did you purchase these 2,000 shares?
Today I bought 2,000.
You bought them
Can
today?
I add? Today I bought.
Okay, okay. And why did you purchase shares of Ola Electric today?
Because government is encouraging electrical vehicles
Okay, okay.
for avoiding pollution. But this share is coming very low.
Correct. Makes sense, Mr. Reddy. So what would you want to know today from our experts?
This is I want to know the fundamentals and technicals of the script.
Okay, okay. Got it, got it. Narendra, let me hit back to you and then I'll come to our technical expert as well. Now, Ola Electric has been surrounded by a lot of controversy around many of its stores trading on a single trade certificate in the state of Maharashtra. And NDTV Profit has been covering the story with the latest developments every single day, in fact. Now, with the fundamental story of a company being so disturbed in recent times, like Ola Electric, irrespective of whether it comes from the electric space or not, which is definitely Ramachandra Reddy invested in this stock because he is betting on Ola Electric from the perspective that government is pushing EVs. Would you still recommend our viewers to go ahead and invest in Ola Electric? Do you think it's the right time to enter this company or not?
Yeah, first of all, disclaimer, we do not have any active recommendation, but looking at the business of the Ola, I think one should really wait for the performance to really improve. If you see the overall service issues which have been cropping up for the company, plus overall the performance has not been up to the mark in comparison to valuation, and that has impacted the stock negatively. Coming to the sector, I think there is nothing wrong with the EV sector. Definitely, the government is pushing EVs in a major way, both for two-wheelers as well as four-wheelers. So sectorally, things are looking nice, but I think for the company, it has not been performing up to the mark. So I think one can wait for 3 quarters in order to improve the performance of the company.
Wait and watch approach is what you're suggesting. Sundar, I'd like to quickly take your technical analysis of Ola Electric as well, because the stock has fallen about 45% in the last 1 year and it saw a dip of around 4% today itself. So what would your target price for the next 2 quarters be until we get some clarity on how the company is headed in the future?
Yeah, Malika, referring to the daily time frame of the stock is currently into a sideways range. But yes, if the stock break out above 55, then only then the fresh buying will be emerging, and we could see target up till 75 and 90 odd levels. But yes, if the viewer has bought this stock, so I would recommend him to place a stop loss below 45 because the structure doesn't look that attractive to me. But yes, above 55, I am positive on this stock because a multiple reasons breakout plus moving averages crossover. So I would recommend him to place a stop loss below 45, and if the price breaks above 55, then yes, he can add more.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. And now we have Kanan. He's calling us from Kerala. Hi, Kanan. Good evening.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Please ask your question, Kanan.
Yeah, my query is regarding Motilal Oswal Financial Services.
Okay.
So I hold 320 shares at an average price of 745.
Okay.
So after the quarterly results that was announced today, I want to know a 1-year perspective on this counter, and if the stock has given a good rally the past week. So I was curious if it would again go to the previous low level, or is it the we know that the results are going to be bad this quarter. So I was curious to know if that is already priced in this already.
Yeah, interesting, Kanan. Narendra, let's get your view on Motilal Oswal Financial Services, an interesting space to be in. Kanan currently holds 320 shares of this company at 745 rupees a piece. The stock is now trading around 695. It tanked about 8% today in trade, and this is of course on the back of its quarterly results that sort of disappointed the street from that perspective. How do you see Motilal Oswal performing in the next couple of years? Kanan has a 2-year view, and would you give a thumbs up to this stock?
Yeah, if you talk about today's results, so it was one of the worst performance in past 5 years. So the markets have reacted in line with that. However, coming to the recommendation, we do not have any coverage on the stock, so we do not have any active recommendation. But if you see overall, the volumes have fallen in the exchanges. So that has been, and the volumes have not recovered again back to the where it was last year. So that has also been the case when the performance has not been coming up to the mark. So I think once the sentiments in the overall market, broader market improves and the volumes as well as the overall sentiments improve the market going ahead probably next quarter or so, then only you can see some kind of a recovery happening in the stock. Until then, I think it should just the market performer should be giving you average kind of a returns in line with the market.
Okay, okay. And so that actually brings me to you. Technically, from a technical standpoint, when do you think Motilal Oswal Financial Services, the stock per se, shows a signal of going back to its October to Jan levels? Because the stock did see a significant uptick and maintained that for quite some time, and after that it had a drop after January, and now it's tanked further after this sentiment, that's negative sentiment that's come in because of their quarterly results. So would you be able to give us a timeline or a target price of when could we see an uptick in Motilal Oswal Financial Services?
So, Malika, if I see from February first week, the stock was into a sideways range, and interestingly, on 21st April, the stock has given a resistance breakout plus a range breakout, and it has also, increased. It has actually given a breakout with significant increase in volume. But from past 2 days, it is seen that the breakout is, I mean, the stock is not able to sustain its breakout. So I would, not go long on this stock until and unless the stock crosses above 750. Yes, if the stock crosses above 750, then yes, the stocks look positive to meet it till 1000 level, but not at this price because this could be a classic scenario of a breakout failure. So strictly, we should play a breakout above 750, not at this price.
Okay, okay, got it. And now we have Vijay. He's calling us from Hyderabad. Hi, Vijay. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Please ask your question.
Yeah, I'm holding 400 shares of Transformers and Rectifier
Okay.
at 530 price.
Okay, okay, got it.
So I want, for long term, I want to know the fundamental and technical.
Okay, and do you want to add more shares of this company, Vijay?
Yeah, if further if it goes down, I want to add, and the results also are good. Just some 15 days back, results also tracked.
Correct, correct.
Yeah, results also are good. Yeah. So
Okay.
I want to know the fund. Yeah.
Okay, got it, Vijay. Narendra, how do you see, transformers and rectifiers perform fundamentally? Vijay currently holds 400 shares at 530 rupees a piece. The stock is now trading around 509. What kind of an uptake do you see in the long term for this particular company?
If you see the overall sector in which the company is operating, especially the power sector, so that sector has been really performing well in terms of capacity addition, and the demand environment is very good for that sector. Even if you see the space where Tariff operates, which is the high voltage transformers. So this is a very interesting space. The order book is very good, and the demand environment is very strong. And if you see till 2030, the power consumption is expected to grow at about 6% per year. So that's definitely a very strong demand environment. So the overall sector tailwinds are there for the company, and the company is also fully adequately backward integrated. So performance has been coming good both on the front of revenues as well as margins. So I think you can continue to hold the share for the long term.
Okay, got it. And Sundar, from a technical standpoint, do you think the stock will be able to go back to its Jan-Feb levels? Because it's again going back, it has gone back and is trading around the range in which it traded for the most of 2024. So what happened between Jan to Feb? Was it extraordinary, or do you see the levels coming back anytime soon?
Yeah, I can see the levels coming back soon. The reason for the reason for this is like if I see the 3 days action, price has fallen, but the volume has not increased. So I could see that the stock should take support around 450. So if the viewer wants to add the add more quantity, then he can add it at 470. And if the stock hold to that level, then yes, we could see stock trading at 650 to 700 odd levels. And additionally, below there is a lot of support, say moving average support and price level support. And also, if I see the 200 moving average is well placed, and the stock is currently into uptrend, so I would recommend to hold this stock. And we
Okay.
could see in short term 650 levels.
So a short-term target of 650 rupees for transformers and rectifiers. Now we have Shrikant joining us on the phone line from Hyderabad. Hi Shrikant, good evening.
Good evening, madam.
Please ask your question, Shrikant.
Madam, my purchasing is KNR heat exchange, madam. 50 shares, madam. I sell this 50. Natco Pharma is buying in the book time, madam. Long term, 10 years, 1 decade, madam. Natco Pharma.
Okay, okay. And did you say that you had invested in KNR heat exchangers and you sold them?
50 shares, madam.
Okay, okay. I'll stick
sell
to...
this, sell, KNR heat exchange is sell. Natco Pharma is buying is the long term 10 years, madam, 1 decade.
Okay, Shrikant.
Good.
Shrikant, we will look into Natco Pharma today because I have many callers. I will pick up one stock and I'll try giving you an advice on that. Okay? Okay, got it. So, Narendra, I'll speak about Natco Pharma. Although you said that you're not very bullish on the pharma space because of whatever's happening globally, how do you see this company fare? And Shrikant currently holds 100 shares at 840 rupees a piece.
If you see overall company's performance, the US business has been performing okay, but the company has not been able to deliver in the Indian business. Also, its Kotur plant has been receiving adverse impact, and that could hurt earnings. So I think one can wait for a quarter or so in order to improve the performance and see the improvement in the internals of the company, and then take a call based on that. Till then, I think you can choose to go with another different stocks in the same space or either in hospital segments which are really performing well.
Okay, all right. And now let's talk to Jeevan. He's on the phone line from Karnataka. Hi, Jeevan. Good evening. Jeevan, can you hear me? Okay, I think the phone line has dropped, but we will take his query. So Jeevan currently holds, just a second. Yeah, so he currently holds 168 shares of Canara Bank at 91 rupees a piece. He's asking whether he can hold or sell his shares. So Narendra, I'll come back to you on this one again. I just want to know the fundamentals of this company. How does it look? Because Jeevan currently holds 168 shares at 91, and plus there's been a lot of talk about the quality of assets in this and then credit growth slowing down. Do you think Canara Bank is a good bet?
Overall, we are positive on the banking space, and with the rate cuts coming in and expected demand also improving for the credit growth should also improve. Plus, if you see the monsoons are also expected to be normal or above normal, and the impact of announcements on the budget, especially on the tax side, should also drive impetus to consumption. So, and agriculture also should drive. So, I think overall the performance of the banking and financial sector should improve going ahead for next at least 2 to 3 quarters. Adding to that, if you see overall performance of the public sector banks, that has been improving. NPAs are declining, and the ROAs are also stabilizing at least. So I think it could continue to perform, and it can continue to hold the stock.
Okay. So, Sundar, while Narendra highlights a favorable atmosphere for the banking space in general, Canara Bank, on the other hand, has seen a sharp cut of about 20% just in the last 1 year, and the stock price has only significantly fallen. What do you make of the stock price going ahead? Do you see a trend reversal anytime soon?
Yeah, so Malika, if I refer to daily time frame, the stock has shown some sign of reversal, and you could see that there is a trend line breakout also happening. So I would say that yes, the stock is trying, and potentially it has trying to move up. So I would say that if the viewer wants to add more stock, then at 103 level, the stock should be added because that will give a good breakout to the resistance. And then from that level, we could see stock moving at 120 and 130 odd level. And sticking out to the question that the stock is, reversing the trend. Yes, the stock is showing a sign of reversal in the daily time frame itself.
Okay, got it. And now we have Shiv Kumar on the phone line from Bengaluru. Hi, Shiv Kumar. Good evening. Shiv Kumar, are you there?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Shiv Kumar. How may we help you today?
Yeah, today one of my leading brokerage houses are recommending Aptech education to invest.
Okay.
I would like to know your view fundamentally as well as technically for a 1 year to 2 year time horizon.
Got it, got it. Let's get your query answered. Narendra, how do you view Aptech? Aptech is involved in the non-formal education and training business space, and the stock is now trading around 158. It saw a fall of around 7.75% in trade today. How does the long-term perspective look like?
Currently, we do not have any recommendation on the stock as of now. So,
That's okay.
yeah, no views.
Sundar, could you give us a technical analysis on this one if possible?
Yeah, sure, Malika. So referring to the daily time frame of Aptech, I could see that the stock has given a strong rebound from 108 odd levels to 170 levels, 175 levels. So I would say that yes, the stock is showing some sign of recovery. And additionally, if I see a pinch of salt over here, the volume has also increased significantly. Today, the stock has experienced a fall of 7 to 7.5%. But I would say that if I compare the fall with the gains, then that is negligible. So a breakout above 180 could ignite the stock till 250 level. So I would recommend I would recommend the viewer to hold the stock.
Okay, so hold on Aptech. Prasanna, another caller joining us from Bengaluru. Hi Prasanna, good evening.
Good evening, madam.
Please ask your question.
So I have 500 shares of BEL at the average price of 231.50.
Okay.
So I'm holding it from 1 year, past 1 year. So I want to know long-term perspective of this share.
Okay, precise and clear. Narendra, let's talk about Bharat Electronics. Prasanna currently holds 500 shares at 231 rupees a piece. Now, although the stock has climbed up significantly, now it trades around 298 and has given Prasanna about 30,000 in profits, around that much. He wants to know the long-term perspective on this one. Now, hailing from the defense space largely, how do you see the stock performing?
Defense is a space where we are very bullish, and there are a lot of stocks we have recommended, and BEL is one of the stocks we can continue to hold. If you see the internals of the BEL, so the company is moving towards self-reliance, making India self-reliance in defense. There is a robust pipeline of both domestic as well as export orders, and the strong order inflow is also expected. Plus, if you see the current environment wherein we have seen that in last 2 3 days there has been a flare up in the geopolitical situation related to India and Pakistan. So that is also positive for the overall sectors, and that may provide impetus to fast ordering activity to happen in near future. So overall, the sector is having very good tailwind, and the Indian defense sector has a lot of pent up demand, which very few companies are capable to cover, and BEL being one of them. So there is a lot of good business still yet to come for the company, so you can continue to hold for the long term.
Okay, so for the long term, you can continue to hold. Sundar, I'm just very curious to know whether or not we could see a breakdown in the way the stock price has been performing, because in the past 1 year, broadly from say July of 2024, BEL has been trading in a range-bound manner. When do you see this pattern to break?
See, Malika, to be precise, the range is from 320 to 260 odd levels. So I am anticipating that this stock could take a resistance at 320 in a short term. But if the stock breaks above 320 in coming a few weeks with higher volumes, then I could be more positive on this stock, because simple back to basics, we should not be trading into a sideways market. So by above 320, I would be positive on this stock, but not at this price, because there is a high possibility that this stock could, play a mean reversion kind of role.
Okay, got it. And viewers, on that note, we will have to take a short break, but do keep sending in your queries and stay tuned to Ask Profit only on NDTV Profit.
Stock specific, what I'm hearing firstly is on 361. Tomorrow is the board meet where the company is looking for a fundraise, and dealers are indicating that a preferential issue to the UBS India might be announced tomorrow, and the deal is likely to happen at a premium compared to the current market price. A premium of nearly 10 to 15% is what the dealers are indicating.
361 is going to issue these securities to UBS at a deal value of roughly 40,000 crore pre-money and around 42,000 crore post-money.
In the last 1 month, if you see, the share prices of Genzol Engineering has fallen more than 58%.
Why are the rating firms calling the debt payments as default?
We have two credible credit rating agencies on March 4th coming and downgrading the stock to D.
Statements are consistently being proven wrong, and transactions.
Welcome back to Ask Profit only on NDTV Profit, a show where you ask all your stock related questions and we answer them through our experts. Joining us today, we have Narendra Solanki on the technicals, and as well as Narendra Solanki on the fundamentals and Sundar Kevat on the technicals. Pardon me, gentlemen. And viewers, don't forget to call us on the numbers flashing on your screen. We do urge you to pick up your phones and call us right away. Diving straight into our first WhatsApp query right after this short break. Okay, JM Dave has written to us from Rajkot, and he currently holds 390 shares of Shakti Pump at 1,270 rupees a piece, and he's asking for your guidance here. Narendra, how do you see the stock performing? Because currently JM Dave is sitting on a loss of about 1.5 lakh rupees. What should his strategy be with regards to this investment?
Yeah. First of all, we are not covering this stock, so we do not have active recommendation. Having said that, I think if you see the overall industry or overall sector in which the company operates, it is more or less driven by government spend into the agriculture. And since the government is focusing very keenly on improving the agriculture infrastructure and overall, especially the solar-based pumps, so the orderings have been really very good, and execution has also been happening in this sector. So overall, the sector tailwinds are very much there. So I think we can continue to hold, and once the sentiment over with the overall markets improves, I think the stock should see the bounce back in the performance.
Okay, got it. And viewers, again, just a gentle reminder, the numbers that you see on your screen are for you to call us straight away. So do pick up that phone and call us on the numbers flashing on your screen, because this is, remember, your best opportunity to get the best investment advice. And now we have a caller joining us from Kerala. His name is Prajesh. Hi Prajesh, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Please ask your question.
My query is that I'm having close to around 100 Hyundai shares.
Okay.
I brought it at the time of IPO. So at a price range of 1,900 or 1,920.
Okay.
So currently the share is at 1,700. So since from the IPO there is no the share is drastically dropping. So I just want to know whether I should I'm having 100 shares, so whether I should sell it and buy a trend, you know that.
Yeah.
So whether I should buy trend because it is already corrected, some 30% correction is there in trend. So whether I should buy that kind of share or whether I should hold.
Okay, understood. So I just want to confirm, did you say 100 or 200?
No, it is 100 only.
100
yeah,
shares.
100.
Okay,
Yeah,
100
not
shares.
like 92,000 is the total value.
Okay, okay. So 100 shares at an average price of 1,900 rupees. Okay,
At the
got
time
it.
of IPO, I brought
At the
this
time of IPO, and you want to know whether or not you should keep holding on to this, or should you exit and book your? Okay, got it. Understood.
Yeah, but, exit or shall I mean, whether I should exit and buy trend?
Trend instead.
Because trend is already, some 30% drop is there in that share.
Okay, got your question.
5,000 range pay, I will get that share.
Yeah. Got it. So, Narendra, I'd like to know your view on Hyundai Motors. Now, Prajesh from Kerala currently holds 200 shares at 1,900 rupees a piece, and he is telling us that he bought them at the time of IPO, and since then, the stock has corrected significantly. What would you suggest Prajesh to do? Because he's held on to them for a long time and has not incurred any profits yet. Do you think he'll be able to see any kind of trend reversal in the way the stock price has been performing since its IPO levels?
Yeah. See, currently we do not have any recommendation on Hyundai, but on passenger vehicles and the sector, if we talk about today, you must have seen the Maruti results. So on the con call, the management was also not sounding very optimistic about the kind of demand environment in the FY26, and they hardly are seeing a 1 to 2% kind of growth. Plus, having said that, the competition intensity in this passenger vehicle segment is also very intense in the domestic markets, both in ICE as well as EV. And with the tariffs coming down, as we have been seeing in the news reports for the imported EVs, then that could also increase the competition in the overall passenger vehicle segment. So hence, we do not see any significant improvement in the performance of the company for next 2 to 3 quarters. However, on the export front, the company has been trying to increase its share in the export market. So that could provide some kind of a relief in terms of arresting the downside. But immediately, we should not expect any significant improvement in the performance, especially on the domestic market point of view for next 2 to 3 quarters.
Okay, so point taken. You definitely concur to the point that the demand environment for most of these automotive companies have been a little weak, and hence we're seeing that kind of pressure reflect in the stock price as well. But I would like to take your view on this, Sundar. Would you recommend then our viewer to shift to Trent instead? Because Trent also has seen a significant amount of correction. And would that then be a good move?
Yeah, Mali, I'll refer to the daily time frame of Hyundai stock. So the stock is, creating a lower low pattern, and it is a classical example of a downtrend. So I would recommend the viewer to exit from Hyundai. And talking about trend over here, ma'am. So the trend is also not showing that much reversal over here. But yes, if the stocks break out above somewhere around 5,400, then I would be much more interested in investing in this stock, but not at this price. And if the viewer wants to shift his money into auto sector only, then Bajaj Auto looks positive to me. The stock is currently at 8,034 rupees, and a breakout above 8,200 could ignite the stock till 9,000. So this would be my recommendation for the viewer, ma'am.
Okay, understood. And now we have Tanishk. He's calling us from Indore. Hi, Tanishk. Good evening.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Please ask your question.
Yeah, I have Tata Power shares, 38 shares at the rate 260.
Okay.
I'm sitting on a profit of 4,800 rupees. So I have almost 50% profit. So should I hold on to it or exit?
Okay, okay. Cool. So, Sundar, I'd like to take your view on this one because it's a simple question. Currently, Tanishk holds 48 shares at 230 rupees a piece, and he's already been able to make some decent amount of profit for himself. In fact, he's sitting on a profit of around 5,000, and I think it serves the purpose. He's asking whether or not he should continue holding or should he book his profits at the time.
Well, so Malika, the stock was into sideways range from 13 Jan to 9 April. The stock is given a strong breakout. So I would recommend the viewer to hold the stock, and the stock has the potential to move up till 435 levels. And if the viewer wants to place the stop loss, then yes, the stop loss should be placed below 365. And this is a positive structure for me. The stock has closed above its short-term, mid-term, and long-term moving averages. So it's a good bet to watch out.
Okay, got it. And we will take up another WhatsApp query right now. So Siddharth has written to us from Mumbai. He currently holds 3 shares of Bajaj Finance at 9,300 rupees a piece. He bought them yesterday and he's asking a medium-term perspective. Narendra, I'd like to get your view on Bajaj Finance, right? Because the stock has stood really tough times and has been resilient to most of its counterparts in the space. How would you fundamentally see Bajaj Finance?
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the good performing stocks, and it is one of our top recommendations, especially in the NBFC segments, with a healthy 28% kind of AUM growth. And if you see, last year in December, they conducted the management meeting wherein they have discussed about their long-term strategy for next 2 to 3 years. So that is very good. That is very aggressive strategy, especially in relation to using technology as a tool in order to improve their performance. Hence, I think the medium to long term is very good for the stock, and the performance also has been coming in line with that. Plus, if you see again the monsoon, the rural consumption, and the benefit of income tax exemptions which we have seen in the budget, so all those would start to flow in this year. So it's very good for the NBFC sector again with the 2 rate cuts already happening, and maybe 1 or 2 rate cuts also happening during the financial year. So overall, the sector tailwinds are very much there for the stock, and you can continue to hold and ride the performance.
Okay, so thanks for that view, Narendra. Now we have Kirti. She's calling us from Bengaluru. Hi, Kirti. Good evening.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Please ask your question, Kirti.
Yeah, so I have 30 shares of Delhivery at the average price of 397.58.
Okay.
I just wanted to know whether I can hold it or not for a short term.
Okay, and how short are you looking at, Kirti?
1 year.
Okay, for 1 year. And just another question, when did you buy these 30 shares at Delhivery?
8 months before.
Okay, it's been 8 months. Okay, and you're sitting on a loss of around 3,000 rupees. Okay, Narendra, I'll hit back to you on this one again because it's a very interesting space that it comes from, right? Delivery, hailing from the logistics space, has not been able to give any profit to Kirti in the last 8 months. In fact, Kirti is sitting on a loss of about 3,000 rupees. The stock is trading around 305, has a really high P ratio of above 500. So number one, do you think the valuations are justifiable for Delhivery? And second, how do you fundamentally view the stock?
Overall, we view logistic space as a promising space. However, currently, due to pricing pressure, the companies have not been able to perform. However, if you see Delhivery, they have done a strategic acquisition, and I think that could also start showing up, adding up into the performance going ahead. So that could improve. However, it would be a better strategy to wait for the performance to improve and numbers to come, then take a call whether to go and invest in the stock or not.
Got it. Okay. And Sundar, this is exactly where your technical expertise becomes really interesting. For a stock that has not delivered any profits in the last 8 months, when do you see there could be a change in the way it is currently trading?
See, Malika, referring to the weekly time frame of the stock, there is an interesting outcome which is going on over here. The stock from past 3 weeks has risen very sharply, and also it is closing above its important resistance of 300 levels. And I could see that the stock has a potential for hitting the target of 400. And if the stock crosses above 400, then yes, the stock will. I mean, I would not be surprised to see the stock trading at 480 levels. And interestingly, in weekly time frame, the stock is closing above its 20-week moving average, which is in itself with a positive outlook. So I would suggest to hold this stock, and if the viewer wants to place the stop loss, Malika, then the stop loss should be placed below 270 on weekly closing basis.
A stop loss of 270 for delivery. Now we have Rakesh. He's calling us from West Bengal. Hi, Rakesh. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. Actually, I have 15,000 rupees, ma'am.
Okay.
So I want to invest in Bank of Baroda and Lemon Tree. As per valuation, which one is good, ma'am? At this correction.
Okay. And why
Yes,
only these two stocks, Rakesh?
Ma'am, actually, experts have been recommending Bank of Baroda for the last few days, ma'am. And Lemon Tree has also been recommended by experts. So I thought that these two stocks are good.
Okay, fair enough, Rakesh. Let me take this to our experts. So, Narendra, I'll talk to you about Bank of Baroda, and Sundar, I'll pose the question of Lemon Tree to you. So speaking of Bank of Baroda, just a while back, Narendra, you mentioned that you are bullish on the banking space, especially because of the kind of growth most banking counters have seen, liquidity pressures, easing in the space. So a lot of things are favorable for a lot of banking names in the space. As a result of that, do you think investing in BOB would be a good option with a corpus of 15,000 rupees?
Yeah, we are recommending both the stocks. Both the stocks are worth investing in their respective spaces. But if it's a matter of choosing between the one, I would definitely go for banks because as already mentioned that there are a lot of tailwinds for the banks both in near term as well as medium term. And if you see the Bank of Baroda performance, the performance has been improving on all the fronts. Like improving on the profitability front, also improving on the return on assets also. And in terms of valuations, also it is just trading at around 1.1 times book value. So it is definitely at a very attractive proposition. And then hence you can go and I will choose Bank of Baroda in both these stocks.
Okay, understood. And Sundar, how does Lemon Tree look like on the charts? Because I see that the fluctuation that Lemon Tree has gone through, apart from the fact that it hails from the hospitality sector and it could be a beneficiary of how tourism is increasing in India, but Lemon Tree being such a volatile stock, would you recommend, Sanjay, to invest 15,000 rupees currently at this level?
So, Malika, as you said, the stock has significant volatility in itself, and I could see that there is not much clarity on daily time frame, and also the structure doesn't look that attractive to me. So, I won't suggest you to buy this stock, but yes, in banking space, I have one stock which is State Bank of India. The stock is creating an inverted head and shoulder pattern, and it has given a break, and it has broken its neckline. So I would recommend the buyer to buy State Bank of India because it has a potential to go up till 870 odd levels in short term. So avoid Lemon Tree, and the viewer can go with State Bank of India.
Okay. So our viewer has two options, SBI as well as BOB. And now we have Sanjay. He's calling us from Mumbai. Hi, Sanjay. Good evening.
Good evening. I really love this program. You guys are really doing a great job for small investors like us.
Thank you so much for making our day by giving us that compliment, Sanjay. But please go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, I just want to know about two shares. One is Anant Raj, which I bought recently at 498 because it is in data centers and real estate play. And the other one is RV Denim, which is a small company, but I bought at around 60. Now it is going on because I think the management has changed. So should I keep it or should I sell it? Because I am in profit in that.
So Sanjay, I'll have to give you the choice of choosing one stock that we can today give you a suggestion on.
Okay, better is RV Denim from fundamental point of view, because I will sell that and go into Anant Raj.
So could you please help me with the name of your stock, please? RV? What is it called?
RV, double A, R, V, V, double E.
Okay. RV?
Denims.
RV Denims. Okay. Yeah. We actually do not have coverage on this.
It's a textile company. Okay. Then you can give me Anant Raj.
Okay. Okay. So let's give you a suggestion on Anant Raj. Narendra, how does Anant Raj look to you? Because Sanjay currently holds 2,000 shares at 498 rupees a piece. The stock saw a dip of about 6% in trade today. How does it fundamentally pose? Because Sanjay has incurred a loss of around 78,000. That's a massive amount.
Yeah, first of all, disclaimer, we do not have any active recommendation. However, if you see the business of the company, it's primarily a real estate player and it is diversifying into data center business. Coming to the data center business, currently the company's revenues are very small from the data center. It is approximately, it is less than 5% of overall revenues. However, there are a lot of long-term growth plans in the segment that the company has planned. And I think we have to see how things pan out from that perspective, and then only we can say how. But if you want to really achieve, if you want to really invest in this company for a data center perspective, I think your holding period should be more than 3 years. Then only that business would start to show results in order to company to justify the current valuation. So you have to have a really very long holding period because it generally takes a lot of time in order to ramp up the business, get the tenants for your data centers up and running, and then you have to show operational performance in terms of getting the operating margins, etc., etc. So your holding period should have to be at least 3 years in order to see the results from data center business.
Okay, so very well said, Narendra. Now let's go across to Setu. He's joining us on the phone line from Bengaluru. Hi, Setu. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Good evening to you. Yeah.
Please ask your question.
My inquiry is on Eternal.
Okay.
I bought 100 shares at the rate of 202.
Okay.
I would like to know the short term as well as long term, whether can I add some more with the present rate.
Okay, interesting. So, Sundar, I'll come to you on the technical side of this one, but Narendra, I'll get your view on Eternal currently. Setu holds 100 shares at 202 rupees a piece. Although he's made a moderate profit out of this, he still wants to hold for the long term. Now, hailing from the space of, fast delivery and QCOM, which has so much competition, and as well as companies like Eternal are sitting on a lot of cash, how sustainable do you think is their business model currently? And do you think Eternal as a company will be able to give him profitable returns in the long term?
I think the valuation at which he has entered is very good, and we have a positive view on the company. Eternal is one of the companies which is a market leader and a first mover in a lot of quick commerce verticals in which it operates. And not only it provides quick commerce, but hyper pure B2B is also there. Then going out, and it also connects customers, restaurant, delivery partners. And the company also has acquisition-led strategies wherein with a robust acquisition plan, which and also has a capacity to scale it up the new acquisitions very fast. And so adding all these things, I think the company is in a very sweet spot. And there is a lot of headroom for the quick commerce to go into India. And we are still just operating at only few large cities. And there is tier 2 cities, there is a very huge scope for the company to grow. So I think we continue to hold the stock for medium to long term perspective.
Okay, so since Eternal, as you said, is a frontline company in the space that it hails from, Sundar, I'd like to get your technical view on this one, as I said earlier. Now, the stock price of Eternal made 2 attempts to break out from its high points, right, back in September and then next in December, sort of. And after that, it has only been dropping and has been tepid on the stock exchanges. How do you see Eternal's stock price traveling in the next couple of years? Because Setu has a long-term horizon.
So, Malika, referring to the weekly time frame of the stock is actually into a sideways range. Like if you see from 20 January itself, the stock is into a very tight range. And I would, not go blast all cylinders on this stock because importantly, the DM, the 200 DM, that is a daily moving average of 200, is at 245, which is a long-term moving average. So the stock is currently, accepting the resistance for this in short term. So I wouldn't go long, aggressively long on this stock. But yes, if the stock somehow manages to close above the 250 levels, then only then I would be able to say that yes, the stock is positive and we could add this stock. But as of now, the stock doesn't look attractive to me. But yes, if you are asking about the yearly horizon, then this breakout should be watched out very closely.
Okay, and just a heads up, experts, we have a couple of callers but less time, so let's go about these queries quickly but also efficiently. We have Guru Prasad calling us from Bengaluru. Hi Guru Prasad, good evening. Okay, so the line is a little disturbed, I feel. So Guru Prasad currently holds 100 shares of Shriram Finance at 590 rupees a piece. He's asking for a short-term advice on this one. Therefore, Sundar, I'll turn to you on this one. What do you think Guru Prasad should do with his 100 shares of Shriram Finance?
The stock has experienced a 6% downfall today, but I would say that the stock should be kept on hold because the long-term moving average 200 is acting as a good support. So it is a hold for me.
And now we have a AK Oja, I'm so sorry, from Varanasi. Hi, Mr. Oja.
Hi, ma'am.
Please ask your question.
Ma'am, I am the viewer of your show regularly.
Okay, thank you so much.
And I have not too much knowledge of the market.
No problem.
I am learning from your show. Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
So, ma'am, I want some stock recommendations from 4 to 5 emerging sectors.
Okay.
And so that, ma'am, if you will choose chemical and pharma, then chemical sector company will be diversified. So no need to tell me a pharma stock. Okay.
Okay.
Like
so pharma
this,
has been rejected already.
No, ma'am. I am saying that a chemical company is also diversified.
Okay.
It also caters to pharma and textile and very much sector.
So you want a suggestion in the chemical space or you do not want?
No, ma'am. I want to know emerging sectors from 4 to 5 emerging sectors.
Emerging sectors. आपको recommendation चाहिए from emerging sectors. Chemical वगैरह में नहीं चाहिए आपको?
नहीं मैम. मेरा कहना है मतलब कि केमिकल अगर जैसे एक सेक्टर से हम एक स्टॉक ले लेते हैं तो वो कई सेक्टर्स में डाइवर्सिफाइड हो जाते हैं.
समझी.
तो मुझे जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा कि मैं हर एक सेक्टर से ले लूं एक स्टॉक.
समझी. So I'll come to you on this one. So Sundar, I would want to know your top 3 picks from emerging sectors. Do you have any coverage on any of the companies that you see would be a good buying opportunity at the moment?
Yeah, Malika. So firstly, I have Paytm, right? The stock has given a strong upward momentum from 700 to 875 currently, and the major trend for the stock remains positive. I would not be surprised to see the stock touching the target of 1030 odd levels. And if the viewer wants to place the stop loss, then the stop loss should be placed below 820. This is my first pick. Now coming to the second pick, which I have is Gale. So the stock has outperformed in a couple of from past couple of weeks, and I could see that from 150 level the stock has touched in 196 odd levels, and I could see that there is a strong trend reversal happening in this stock, and additionally the 200 DMA, which is currently placed at 200 price itself. So I would see breaking out about 200 could possibly a good opportunity for me to invest in this stock, and the target should be placed at 840. So the second stock is Gale, and the third stock which looks interesting to me is AV Capital. Let me just open the chart. So AB Capital, the stock has outperformed the markets in mid cap space, and I could see that the stock has shown a strong reversal. Plus, the prices are also increasing, and additionally, the volumes are also seen increasing. So I would, go long on the stock at current market price, and the target should be placed at around 240. And if the viewer wants to play the stop loss, then the stop loss should be placed below 165, where the recent low is. So these are the top 3 picks from my side. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, got that. And on that note, viewers and gentlemen, first, thank you so much for joining us and answering all the queries of our viewers. We really appreciate your patience. And viewers, a quick note for you: you can continue to write your your stock-related queries on the WhatsApp numbers available. You can also call us both in the morning as well as in the evening. We're live with Ask Profit. And also stay tuned to the channel because we have a lot more lined up for you right on the other side.